Check. 1, 2. Testing. 1, 2, 3.
For many people, the pageant stage is the last place you would go to find political agency. But New York University's Caribbean Students Association did just that this past March when the group held its first annual pageant to show the diversity of beauty. Fellow NYU students served on the judges panel to find someone who represented this beauty and the diversity within Caribbean culture.
This pageant was created by women, and it was kind of put in place to celebrate, the different cultures. And although we are judging people on, like their skills and whatever, it's not so much putting them against each other. We really just want to see who is able to, take their diverse background and really just show it to us and be really excited about it. I think this just proves in general that there's so much beauty in the world, and we definitely don't appreciate all of it. So a pageant like this is so important so that we can see all sides of the world and see all the beauty that we have to offer, because it's not just, one type of person.
During the rehearsal, pageant director Sharmini emphasized the importance of cultural display and confidence to the contestants.
Also, how well does your outfit display your culture? How well do you present your culture? How well do you present yourself, and how well you carry yourself? Confidence, of course. Pride. How well you, not necessarily pride, but more of
how well you're able to kind of show off your culture and show off the passion of that country.
Yeah.
For Laina, this pageant helped her find her confidence.
I'm extremely nervous because I'm a shy person, so standing up in front of a bunch of people is just awkward. But I think it'll go away once I get up on the stage.
Some people think it's Indian dancing, I don't know. My God.
Never knew I wanted to join a pageant. I always if I could I would, but I never had the opportunity to be a part of a pageant. I always had an interest, when I watched TV and watched girls in pageants. Clearly I was oh, imagine if that was me, but I never had an interest to actually pursue it. Every time I received an email about it, or the days coming in, I was let me drop out, I don't want to do this anymore. And I was no, I have to, I made a commitment. But then once I got on the stage, that's when the confidence came more.
Laina, Allison, and Susan, then Susan. So first up, we have Laina Michelle. When she has free time, she enjoys volunteering in her community. She aspires to one day work in the Department of State or the United Nations. Everyone, Laina Michelle, Miss Haiti.
What were people's initial reactions when you told them you were competing in a beauty pageant?
They were what? Really? Why?
What is the first thing you said when she said she was competing?
I say, really? Why?
Well, there's a long history of feminist critique of pageants, and I would just perhaps point out two things. One, which is, I guess, the main critique, would be the objectification of what some feminists think is the objectification of female bodies, right, through pageants, right? That the emphasis would be on the outward physical appearance of a woman and not necessarily on other sorts of accomplishments or characteristics of women. And the other critique would be even thinking about intersectional analysis and post-colonial theory, that it seems like a rather strange endeavor to find just one sort of, to define beauty in a singular way, right? To think that you can have a room full of women and then choose the most beautiful one, right?
Although a lot of people think that beauty pageants is just your face and how you look good in a swimsuit and you can walk and model, there's a lot of intelligence that is also being brought to the world.
Well, in an ideal world, definitely more attention paid to the accomplishments that these women, or not necessarily accomplishments, but also sort of like the efforts and sort of the more complicated personas or characteristics of the contestants, right? All the other things that make this particular contestants just human, right? That does not reduce them to then, which is the main critique, the woman walking in high heels in a bathing suit across, you know, a stage in front of a lot of people.
Ladies and gentlemen, your 2015 Miss America semi-finalists. Beautiful.
Beautiful. And just a reminder to those of you at home, it is the year 2014 and I am a fully clothed man standing in front of a line of women in swimsuits awaiting judgment. Beautiful. Beautiful.
Miss CSA is not the traditional pageant, though. It was designed to embrace all cultures, sizes, and sex, welcoming all genders.
Personally, I didn't enter because historically I've always thought that pageants are something that women do. And especially being that I'm from the Caribbean, there is like this Caribbean tradition where men don't do certain things. And I think that even though times have changed, there is this thing about culture that remains with me. And from that perspective, I just chose not to enter. When you're going in pageants, you have to look a certain way, you have to dress a certain way, you have to, you know, it requires like a specific skill set. And I personally am not a talented person with a lot of talent, singing, dancing, or whatever. So I think going up against women who can do their makeups, they can wear pretty dresses and all that kind of stuff, I think it will kind of put guys at a disadvantage. And from that perspective, guys choose not to be in pageants.
This outfit should be out for cultural wear. Y'all have your outfit out for cultural wear? Host, y'all ready? Yeah, have makeup done.
This pageant was different because each of the contestants were embracing their country and their culture, which most pageants don't really do. So I feel that's what differentiated it from like all the pageants really on TV. I'm dressing like Ana Carona. Ana Carona was the chief of Hispaniola during that time, and she helped defeat the Spaniards and help Haiti become its own country. Often people say pageants objectify women, but I don't believe that's the case. For example, specifically in this pageant, this was allowing each contestant to show the beauty of their country, to embrace their culture, to embrace where they're from.
So this is called a sari, and it's traditional Indian wear. And the reason why it's significant is that 49% of the population in Ghana is actually Indian. They practice Hinduism, and there's a lot of mixture. So like, if you're Indian and black, they call you Dougla, and that's what I am. So I just wanted to represent my Indian side a little bit.
This pageant's really about like being with each other and supporting each other and growing with each other. But it's also important to think that like this pageant can help girls with themselves and like their self-esteem and their confidence. And like pageants overall are really promoting for girls to like feel great about themselves and comfortable in the shape they're in and everything about themselves. So like I really feel like the people who are against pageants see it as a way to like we're judging people based off of this and that, or like putting them against each other when we're really not. It's really like a lot of self-discovery and a lot of like, let's come together as one.
You're nervous? My heart. I don't want to scream. Scream everything. Everything out. It's end of midterms. Spring break is about to start. Get it. My heart is... No, you'll be amazing. You look gorgeous.
Yeah, we can start off. First we have Barbados. She will be doing a karate portion. Yes. So I need everybody to give it up and get ready. Oh, damn. Yo, Black Girl Magic is real.
goodness. I'm so confused. I want to say, like, of course, like, beauty is a part of it.
But beauty in the sense of not, like, the physical. The beauty that we're looking at is
more like cultural.
Like it's from
display.
cultural, but it's also from like how you can exude that beauty and make it like present.
I think it's important that they're really relatable, but I'm really looking for someone who's going to stand out, but by being themselves, like to really just come on the stage and from the moment they're on the stage, just really capture everybody and be like, that's definitely the winner right there.
2017 CSA Cultural Pageant goes to
I would encourage other girls to participate in pageant because it really gives them a confidence boost. Even if you don't win, just competing and showing like your beauty and what you define as beauty is like an amazing thing, and I feel it really help a lot of young girls with the confidence. I discovered about myself I have more pride of my background than I thought, because you know, coming from a predominantly white area in the country, you know, I never really get to embrace my culture, but then coming here, I just realized I really love my culture and I know a lot about it. And now it opened me to share more and be more open to where I came from.
You were part of a historic moment here at NYU. This is the first Caribbean pageant ever. Y'all all did a beautiful job. You represented your country so well. I'm proud of all of you. Thank you for pushing through. I know it's midterm season. I know spring break is about to roll up. So I really, truly appreciate all of you. And it was just fabulous.
We love you, Shar.
Thank you. We could do a group hug. Thanks, babies. It was so fun. I enjoyed it so much. Y'all flexed. It was good.